One of the most important aspects of producing video is getting an interview on tape that looks and sounds great, but also provides information for your viewer to understand the story. These are tips on how to make your interviews better for video. The easiest way to make your interviews look like a professional interview is to use a tripod. You'll never go to any event where a professional does not use a tripod. Cameras are lighter now, iPhones are lighter, so there's a tendency for us to hold the camera in our hand when we're doing an interview. Well, the problem with that is that with the camera in your hand, you're gonna shake, you're gonna move, but also you actually have to operate the camera, and that's gonna distract you from the interview itself. So always use a tripod. You're gonna have a lockdown shot, it's gonna be steady, it's gonna be static, and then you'll have less to worry about when you're conducting your interview. When you're producing a video, you want the highest quality sound. So you want to make sure that whether you're using a DSLR, an iPhone, or a larger camera, you're using the proper microphones. And typically, when you're using a microphone to record an interview, you're going to use a lavalier microphone. And the placement of the lavalier microphone is very important. You want to place the lavalier microphone about 6 to 8 inches away from the speaker's voice or the speaker's mouth. That way you get high quality sound, but also you don't have a real booming effect if it's too close. So keep the microphone 6 to 8 inches away from your interview source. So interviews are both editorial and technical, and you have to make sure that both of those elements look and sound good. So in terms of setting up your tripod and your camera, you should be eye level with the source. The reason being is that your source will be looking into the camera and it will be as if the source is answering your viewer. What you don't want is the camera to be above the eye line of the source because they'll start looking up like this. And this is a really awkward way to look at someone replying to you. Also, if the camera's too low, your source will be looking down. And this is also awkward. So when you're setting up your camera, make sure that the eye level of the interviewee is with the camera. Also, make sure that you're sitting down on the level of your interview subject as well, because if you're standing up, your interview subject will look up as well. So make sure your interviews are editorially sound and provide great information, but also make sure that they look good. An interview is not a conversation. So when we have a conversation, we want to fill in the silences with our own yeses and nos. So if someone is answering, we often go, Never do that in an interview because you'll be recorded on tape making those noises, and it's almost impossible to edit those out. But to make it less awkward, what you should do is nod your head and confirm or affirm to the interviewee that you're listening and you're paying attention, but don't make noise. An interview provides information to the reporter, but also serves to tell the story to the viewer. So when you're doing interviews and you're asking questions, avoid yes or no questions. The reason is you'll get yes or no answers. So if I say, do you believe that the government is bad? Your character can say yes or no. But when you edit, all you have is yes or no. And so you won't be able to contextualize that information in the video. So often what you can do is ask a more leading question, something like, what are your thoughts on the government? And so that way, the source will have to say at least a longer answer to be able to reply to you.